Did you pull the weeds in the garden today? I told you I was going to do that this weekend. Why did you do it?
Oh, sorry about that. I got a surprise call from some relatives who are in town and want to visit tomorrow. They said they wanted to drop by and give special coffee beans to my husband. I thought the messy weeds would be embarrassing, so I took care of them.
It's annoying they came without notice. You could have said no. And you're going to visit them next week, right? Are they the same relatives? Why did they need to come now if you'll see them soon?
Well, they wanted to stop by while they're nearby and give the coffee beans in person. I couldn't say no to that, right?
We'll be busy with Easter preparations, and they could have given you the coffee anytime, especially since you're visiting them soon anyway. Now I can't do my cooking prep and other stuff.
Don't worry, Amelia. I'll handle everything for their visit.
That won't work. If you do everything, they might think I'm not doing my part as a daughter-in-law.
Trust me, they won't think like that. Nobody judges you based on that.
If you do the cooking, laundry, and everything else, my pride will be hurt. I know you have free time, but please don't do too much around the house.
All right, I'm sorry. I just wanted to help since you're busy and all.
You're just being too helpful. And honestly, your cooking is old-fashioned. People don't really like it, like your tuna casseroles, beef stroganoff, and that bean toast. They're all tasteless. I'm getting tired of it.
I didn't know you disliked my cooking that much. I apologize. I thought my son enjoyed those dishes. From now on, I'll try making food you like, okay?
That's not the problem. I'm asking you to stop doing more housework than me. Were you even listening? It seems like you're forgetting things.
Forgetful? I'm only 60.
Well, it seems like you can't follow a conversation. Isn't that a sign that you might be losing it?
I get it now. I'll stop interfering from now on, and we'll only do a bit of housework. Is that all right with you?
Yes, do that. You're starting to get on my nerves. Sometimes I can't stand dealing with older people.
I'm about to head home now. My relatives brought us a bunch of gifts, and they're quite hefty, so I arranged for them to be delivered to the house. While I'm out, I intend to find some gifts at the shopping center. Do you need anything while I'm there?
I don't need anything. Actually, it's preferable if you don't come home.
What do you mean?
Just go directly to a nursing home and take up residence there from now on. I no longer wish to live with you. In fact, I can't even bear being in the same room with you. Your old person's smell has become unbearable. The entire house is reeking because of you. Please refrain from ever coming back to this house.
What is going on? Where is all this coming from? What have I done?
I already told you there's no place for you here.
Amelia, did something happen? I'll rush home so we can discuss it.
Even if you come home, I don't believe you can continue living here. Actually, the house feels empty right now.
But my belongings are still there.
Hold on. What about all the belongings that I got rid of? I called someone and had them remove everything. Your couch, your clothes, all your personal items. There really seems to be no reason for you to return home.
Did you really do that? Why? I thought you and John cared about me. Do you genuinely hate me this much? Are you really planning to evict me?
When I say something, I mean it. You can't keep up with a conversation and you can't understand the situation. You're a burden. To be honest, you're a nuisance to society. You're just in the way. Please leave so that I can find some peace of mind.
Where do you expect me to go?
Like I said, try to find a nursing home or somewhere that would accept someone like you.
I'm not old enough for a nursing home.
But don't you think you're showing signs of becoming senile? Perhaps you'd be more comfortable in a facility. Isn't that better?
No one has ever told me I've gone senile. I've never even forgotten something.
So you couldn't follow our conversation because you're senile, or is it just that you're stupid? Either way, I've had enough and can't bear living with you for another second.
You don't have to say such hurtful things. I'm sorry if I've caused you this much trouble, but the reason I took over housework like that was because I wanted to help support you and my son. There's no ill will behind it.
It's irrelevant whether or not you had any ill will. You were a burden to us, and that's the issue. You better not go to this house anymore.
Wait, Don't just end the conversation like that. Amelia, I can't open the door. You're not holding it closed from the other side, are you? Please, let me in.
Absolutely not. Give up and leave. This house doesn't belong to you after all.
I can't believe you're being so stubborn. Well, it seems like you won't change your mind. I guess there's nothing else I can say to convince you. Just for tonight, I'll stay at a hotel. Once things settle, I'll contact John. In the meantime, could we please meet and talk things over?
I have nothing to say to a bother like you. Neither my husband nor I will change our minds.
What will you do if my son has an issue with what you're doing? What if he's against kicking me out?
If he truly cares for me, he won't have any issues. I already told you I wouldn't change my mind, not even if he disagrees or wants to divorce. Besides, I have legal rights to his assets, so I'd be entitled to a fair share of our assets anyway. John didn't come home last night. He's not with you, is he?
That's right. He stayed with me at the hotel and we had a private conversation about the ongoing situation.
Why would you do that? What did you guys talk about behind my back like that? It's quite disturbing. Is he overly attached to you or something? Oh, that's so unpleasant.
I won't speak ill of my son. He's simply concerned about my well-being.
I received a call from him last night. Even though his mom had just been asked to leave, he seemed surprisingly relaxed. Are you sure your son genuinely cares about you?
Time will tell.
By the way, there's something I want to ask you.
What is it?
There's a safe in your room, right? I tried several times to open it, but I couldn't figure out the combination.
Yes, there is a safe, and it's a dial safe. Without the correct code, it won't open.
Well, I happen to know the code is 4624, isn't it? I saw it written in your notebook.
You went through my notebook?
It was just lying around, so I happened to see it. You really shouldn't leave important codes written down like that.
You should know I changed the code recently.
Fine, then tell me the new code.
Absolutely not. I won't tell you.
Obviously, I'm asking because I want to open it. I know there's a significant amount of money in there. I overheard you discussing it with your relatives.
You were eavesdropping?
I just happened to overhear. So, there's over $50,000 in that safe, right? Quite impressive. I'm going to have to ask you to hand it all over to me.
Wait, was that your motive for kicking me out? Did you have your eyes on the money in the safe?
Don't make such outrageous claims. If that were my intention, I would have opened it a long time ago while you were away.
Then why do you want to open it now?
As a resident of this house, I believe everything here is partly mine. I feel entitled to my share of the money.
The contents of that safe are mine. You can't just claim them as your own.
Well, you're no longer a resident here, so I see this as compensation for the trouble you caused.
Maybe if it were for the benefit of our son, but I won't hand it over to you.
Oh, how fascinating. What an avaricious mother-in-law you've become. Well then, if the money in the safe legally belongs to your son, then fine. In the event of a divorce, we divide our assets including the money. If I end up with $25,000, I suppose I can manage with that.
Amelia, you've become a despicable person. What you're trying to do is outright theft.
Theft? You're so naive. According to the law, family matters like this aren't considered theft. Taking from family members is legally excused. In other words, I can do this without facing any legal consequences. So if you won't tell me the code, I'll simply call a locksmith to open it, or I'll find another way to get inside.
Amelia, what you truly desire isn't in that safe.
What are you talking about? Are you afraid of me opening it? Too bad. I'm calling the locksmith right away. And by the way, you can use some of that money to move into a retirement home. The rest will be mine. Goodbye. What is all this? Why are these things in the safe? Where's the money? Explain this to me.
I did mention it before, right? It's not what you're thinking it is.
You knew about this all along. So you've been deceiving me?
I only found out about it yesterday.
Don't lie. How could you not know what's in your own safe?
I've actually let my son use it for the past few months. I haven't used it myself in years.
What about that phone call with your relatives? I overheard something about $50K.
Oh, that was just a joke between me and my relatives. We were just fooling around.
What?
Did you misunderstand something on your own? Anyway, there isn't $50K in that safe, as you already know.
Then what was that picture I found in the safe? It was something that John put in there.
You mean the picture of you with another guy in a car? Yes, that's right.
Stop playing games. When was that taken?
I only learned about it from John yesterday, so I'm just as surprised as you are. He suspected your faithfulness for the past 2 months. He hired a detective to investigate.
A detective? Are you kidding me? He kept something like that a secret from me?
You're one to talk. He decided to hide the picture he received from the detective in the safe. He wanted to gather evidence that he could use against you in a divorce trial.
What evidence? As if that would be useful at all. I'm getting rid of it.
I doubt he'll be concerned if you destroy that picture. The detective has plenty more evidence to prove your affair. I was in shock when I found out. By the way, you mentioned having a right to my assets, but if there's a clear reason for the divorce, your claim on the property might not hold right.
What? I don't think that's true.
Oh, but I believe it is. In fact, I'm quite certain. Actually, my son can claim settlement money from you because of your affair.
Settlement money? If I won't get your assets, then I don't have that kind of money. I haven't been working all this time. Moreover, the person I'm seeing right now has a family, so if I have to pay settlement money, they'll be in a tough spot too.
Seems like my son's anger towards you is justified. I overheard part of the conversation he had with his lawyer on the phone earlier. He vowed to expose everything about you. I don't come across such straightforward cases every day.
Did he really? So he's upset about what happened yesterday when I kicked you out?
That's part of it too, but clearly he was already upset about your infidelity. Kicking me out was the final straw.
I lost my temper, that's all. I didn't like being compared to you, someone who seems capable of anything. Being a daughter-in-law next to you, I was worried that people were looking down on me.
Is that the reason?
Yes, you understand, right? So please convey that to John as well.
What should I say?
Ask him to forgive me. I made a mistake, but I hope he'll give me another chance.
You seem to be retracting your previous statements now. So you only regret everything now that people are calling you out?
I was just jealous of you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
While it's true that we live together as family, whether you guys divorce or not, that's not my decision to make. I won't interfere. Well, I don't live with you anymore, do I? After all, you kicked me out. I wonder if we're even family anymore. After everything you've done, you don't have a leg to stand on.
That's not true. You are my family. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
It's too late. It's unsettling to hear you call us family now.
You were really kind to me from the beginning when I got married. You said, let's get along together for years to come. Do you remember? I'll change myself. I'm begging you, forgive me.
Let's get along for years. I wonder if I said something like that. I guess I forgot. Maybe I am going senile. After the affair was exposed, Amelia and my son got divorced. Even Amelia's secret lover had to pay a sum of money as he was the reason behind my son and daughter-in-law's divorce. Her secret lover was a married man with children, living with his own family. So when weighed against everything, my daughter-in-law had no chance of being with him in that house, receiving only an apology from him. Amelia had to accept that reality. She returned home and begged my son and me for forgiveness, but we couldn't accept someone who was manipulative, money-hungry, and unfaithful like her. She moved to another place, and we didn't care where it was. However, I'm sure it was an extremely difficult time for her as she had no home, no money, and no one around her. She lived in material and spiritual poverty. That was the price she deserved to pay. My son and I are happier than ever. I also suggested to my son to find a suitable woman and get married, but he's in no rush about that. He says he'll let love come to him naturally and unexpectedly, and I fully respect my son's decision.